Oh, yeah, see? That's what you see. So everybody's going to watch this later, and we can tell everybody right now what we're going to be doing. Welcome, everybody. Owen is trying his inaugural day of working the camera in the shop.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
And we have some projects that are on our list of things to do that we're going to do together. That's what we're doing today, right? And Colin's going to help us. Colin, say hello to the camera.
Hello.
Hello, chat. As the youngsters say. Mm-hmm. Are we going to say cool things like that?
No.
Hey, chat. What do you think about this? No? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's, we gotta get better sandpaper. It's actually not right now, so we'll use this one. Alright, so a day in the life, and we're gonna kind of walk them through of how we change things and how we make things. Talk about some cool projects that we have going on right now. Not giving away any top secret information of who we're doing it for or what we're trying to honor and remember or celebrate events. We do have graduation coming up for Norwich soon, so some of our projects may or may not be for graduation. But that's what we're going to be doing. So right now we messed up on the piece of wood. But the cool thing about wood is that things are very recoverable, and if you mess up, you can either just sand it down, or you can cut it, you can use it for something else, or just go outside, cut a new tree down, dry it out, make a new piece of wood, and start all over again. So the first thing we're going to do on this one, which is our surface planer, or like sander, so we want to make sure that it's at the right height, so that's good. We're going to back it off. Alright, it's going to be a little loud for a few minutes as we make some dust. Alright, Colin, you want to turn it on? And then you can catch. So it's already pretty flat. We just want to make sure that it's extra flat. Because it's going to matter. It's going to matter when we bring it over and put a nice little edge on it. Welcome everybody to our live session. We got Colin, Owen, and Josh. We wanted to do a live session for you today at just a day in the life of the shop. Taking off a lot. Slow down. Right now we're getting ready to make a plaque for somebody very special. It's top secret because it's going to be a gift. Alright. Oh, I love the people already. Alright, so it's looking pretty flat. So we're going to go over to our, we got to open up the vent for the router table. So we're going to go over, we're going to use our router table to put a nice edge. We may or may not have messed up on the first one, but we're learning our lesson. So our goal was we wanted to try to put a nice edge all the way around our plaque. We were practicing, as you can tell, and then we accidentally turned it over and started doing the back of it, which is not a good strategy. So Colin's sitting here learning safely how to do the router table today. So we're going to sit here and watch Colin learn how to do the router table.
Oh, scared me.
Oh, it scared you. It scared me. Alright, we learned a lesson there, didn't we? Alright, so what happened was, this is a good time to stop. So, we're safe because we have our safety guard in place, right? Now what happened, why that happened, is this is spinning really, really fast in that direction. And when you went in, you got to keep a forward motion. If if for a split second as you're pushing it in, you move back with the blade, it's just going to grab it and it's going to rip it. And that's what happened. And that's how people get really, really hurt using these pieces of equipment. But I'm sitting here, we're in a safe environment. I'd rather you make the mistakes now while we're sitting here and I'm with you. And I can make sure that your fingers aren't like this. Because look, if your fingers are right here, like a lot of people do when they're running pieces, if you were to do that and it grabbed it, guess what? Your finger's in there, right? But your fingers were back, your hands were back, you were in control of the piece. Even though it grabbed it and flew, you had a good grip on it, and it didn't hit me, it didn't fly across the room, right? So, didn't even mean for that to happen, dude. And we hopefully taught somebody else something that's really safe, and maybe somebody will save their fingers one day. But, everybody's okay? Just a little scary for a second, but all right. So, back brief to me. What did you learn? What did we learn today? And
Don't just go straight.
yeah, well, you can go straight. Just go straight in a forward pattern. Don't go in and back, right? So what is it?
Don't go straight and back.
Yeah, don't go straight back. Always keep a forward motion against the blade or the bit. All right, you ready for a redo?
Yep.
All right, and also for the audience, something else that we covered today is you never want to start when you first start going into a piece. You don't want to start at the edge, right? You want to start in the middle,
Like
right where you started, right? For a couple reasons. If you were to start here and we go all the way around, when you come back up this way, it's going to cause what's called blowout or rip out, tear out, and it's going to cause all the grains of the wood to fray out, and it doesn't look nice. We want it to be a nice, clean, crisp corner. All right, so we got that. All right. All right, I'll get started for you. All right, so going in, and it always helps to have it pick up against the board right here, okay? Up against it's called a fence. And if you ever see sawdust like I did, and I don't want it to be up against, because that also affects the quality. If you see like a little piece of dust or sawdust like it was right there, blow it out of the way. Don't brush it as the machine's going, because that's also not a long-term winning strategy. Okay, so, all right, I'll get started like I did, and then you'll take it from there. All right, we got air, we got the machine. All right, so going forward, in. All right, you take it from there. All right, yep, up against the fence. Breathing in, and I'll help you a little bit. All right. Nice and slow, always making sure that you're pushing up against it. Now we take it out away from the bit, we rotate it around, not picking it up, right? That was the lesson we learned before. You don't have to do that now because it's already started and we're coming in from the edge. So come in, back your way, and then go in. Alright, just the last little bit. All the way down. Okay. Now let's pull it off. Let's turn it around. Let's see how it looks. It's looking pretty good. We have a little bit of tear out right there, which there's a couple ways that we can fix that. But for the most part, the front of the plaque, it all looks even compared to, let's see, where is it? This one? Alright, so let's look at it compared to this one. See how it's all bumpy and jagged? The reason why that happened is you didn't push it and keep it in there, tight up against the fence. And also another telltale sign to tell if you're actually doing a really good job and keeping equal pressure is if you look at the corner right now, all that, the points match. On this one, you can tell that as we're going this way, we're deeper than we are here. There's a little bit of a lip, and then we ran a couple of other issues with keeping it pressed up. But dude, it's not that bad, right? So it's not a finished product, and there's a little bit of marring just from the surface of the. It's a little dirty, so it's going to leave some of those marks. But we're going to sand it at the end. So that was number 1. We got number 2. All right. So we have to sit here. We have to figure out, right, what side is going to be our face, our back. This is the better looking surface. We know that it's already flat because I did that yesterday. We checked. All the corners are 90 degrees all the way around. All right. Are you ready? You sure? Okay. All right, so turn on your air, your suction, the vacuum system. All right, turn on the router. All right. I'll start it with you, and then you take the rest of it, okay? All right, so don't start at the end, always go in. Forward. All right, in the leg, push it in. Shadowing you. It's all you, right? Alright, turn off the vacuum. Alright, so what do you think? Do a little analysis. Does it look good? All the edges are cleaned up?
Edges are good.
Yeah, the corners?
These 2 sides are pretty much good, but we did get some
tear out. Yep.
Tear out.
So that's ingrained, and that's expected. Because instead of going with the grains and just basically peeling it like a banana peel, you're going against it. And blades, that's how they get worn out. They're going against it, and they're chopping little tiny trees, all those little holes. But another extra little test that I do is I'll look down it like a gun sight, and you see how it's like nice and straight. I can tell from this angle, but you look down it, we'll show the camera, so you look down it and everything looks even, looks straight, versus the one that we messed up on this morning. If you look down it, you see how it's uneven, it's bumpy. You see it? Alright. And that's how we know if it's a good straight, if we need to go back, clean up anything. I'm looking at my corners. Corners look beautiful. Alright, so that is that. To continue this project, we can set up for the sanding. Alright, we're going to put this one in our lessons learned pile for later.
and also our stuff for later.
Yes, because those could be reused. And it might not be in the full size, but there's some projects that we need big pieces for, and other projects we need small pieces. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our sander set up. You want to plug in the hose into the vacuum, or small shop vac. You will pull out the sander. Owen's arms are getting tired. Holding up this camera, holding up the world, the universe. It's exhausting, isn't it, Owen? Owen is nodding his head yes. Alright, so plug it in right there, take that clear one out, alright? So plug that in there. And then you're going to put this behind where Owen is standing, behind his knee. Put that plug in. Not the orange box, the gray box. Alright. So, gotta get out our sandpaper. Our handy dandy little organizer here. Our art bin. We put down the sizes, the grits. So we have everything from 60 all the way to 320 in here. Very rarely do we go to 320, but all right. When we sanded it in the drum sander, we did it with 180, but it's not a true 180. It's rougher because it's an older pad. All right, so we're gonna take off the old one. Here's a 220 I pulled out yesterday and it didn't use. So let's put that one on there. Alright. So the purpose of this is to get rid of the imperfections, the lines, all the little dirty spots. And just do a nice cleaning, flat surfacing. We'll even go around the edge, make it all smooth. Do some pretty work. Alright, so are you ready for that? Alright, let's check the speed, make sure it's not too crazy. Alright, we'll keep in the middle, 2, 3. Alright, so whenever you start it, you never start on the piece of wood, you always start it up above and then you put it onto it.
Yep.
And it'll be a little loud for a minute with the vacuum. Alright. So you don't have to apply a lot of downward force. You just kind of keep it, use enough force to keep it flat, let the sander do all the work. And fill that little tiny a little bit. See those little lines right there, like it goes out. Let's pick up a minute. Let's flip it. Let's do the back side. Because even if people aren't going to see it, we still like to make it the best that we possibly can. That means that it's all smooth all the way around. Let's see how it's looking. Alright, you did good. There's nothing wrong with how you were doing it. So the technique that I have sometimes is I always go in the same path all the way around it. So I'll start in one corner and either go clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on which is the worst area. And I go in a pattern every time instead of like being randomly all around. Alright, so I can look down the piece. And you see these little lines?
Mm.
Alright, from the drum sander. This is the back, so this is going to be perfect, and it's nice and smooth, except for that one little spot. You kind of run your hand, so watch. Run it this way, and you'll feel how it gets raised up towards the end. It's actually called sniping. And it happens more so on the planers with the knives that we have.
Mm-hmm.
The surface planer to really take down the thickness. But the same thing happens on our drum sander, where as the rollers come on, it's not on both rollers yet. One side is slightly elevated, and as it goes in, it's going to take off more or leave more compared to the rest of the board. Sniping, and we're trying to fix this snipe. But the surface looks really good. Let me get a sanding sponge. Let me just clean it off a little bit. Alright, we like the sponges for a couple reasons, but one of the main reasons that we choose a sponge is it's soft, it's not rigid to where it's going to cause an uneven surface. Alright, let's do the edges and the corners. So just run it down the edge, take off that roughness. Yep. Yep. Alright, so like feel right here. You see how it's like nice and it's a lot smoother than this. And you feel how nice and sharp and crisp. Some people like it, some people don't. I like a light soft, because as you're giving it to somebody or you're holding it, you like it to be nice and smooth in your hands, no rough, sharp edges. Also, if it's a sharp edge and you get like a little nick or a little ding, a little wearing, you'll notice it a lot more if everything else is sharp but this one little spot. So we're just gonna lightly soften all the edges. And we did have that little tear out. So here's a tear out piece that we were talking about that could potentially happen. You see it?
Yeah.
Alright. So in order to fix that, the strategy is to lift up the blade a little bit, the bit, so that it takes a little bit more of a bite out of there. Which we might end up doing on this one, just a little bit. But we can do that after we put the logo and everything on the back. All right, so let's do this one. Okay. Sander. All right, you ready? How's it looking? There's a couple of spots. Like you see like streaks. And it's going to be a little bit harder to get that out because it's a knot. It's where the branch is coming out. So that you can add a little bit more force here. With this focus and hold it there for a second, move in small circles. And it'll slowly work its way out. Then we just got a couple of like horizontal lines, you see them? Alright, let's do the back. Alright, up, start it, and now to the left. There we go. Working good, dude. Alright. Let's take the sponge and just go all around the edges, and that also helps clean up the fray on the end grain. Okay. And as you're doing that, we will talk about something else we're doing right now. Something else is cool. Alright, pardon my reach. So, 3 years ago, so before the twins were born on Valentine's Day when she was pregnant with them, I hand carved a rose out of rosewood. And it's coming into play again because I may or may not have an order or project coming up that there may be an anniversary gift or something that somebody's trying to... Oh, you're right, Owen, I'm sorry. There's an event coming up in somebody's future that they wanted to get a unique gift. So we are doing a black rose out of a really cool wood. Brazilian rose, Brazilian black heart. So that's pretty cool. Tells a story in and of itself. But it naturally blackens and darkens over time. And it's very, very hard. So we're gonna, I just glued it. Feel how heavy that is. Is it heavy?
Yeah.
You wanna hold it? Alright, Owen's gonna tell you how heavy it is. It's a very, very, very dense wood. It's very oily. It's very tight grained. So this block, for everybody who's watching, is about 30 pounds. If you think about it in terms of a weight. So hold that. We'll try to do a little equating. Alright, maybe not 30 pounds. Alright, so this is a 22 pound weight. Alright, so take that. Alright.
Well, that's way heavier.
That's way heavier?
That's
Alright.
way heavier.
Maybe like 5 pounds heavier than that. So now it doesn't feel like it's that heavy, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So this is another project we're working on. We just have to clean it up. This wood I could not get in bigger than 4/4, which every quarter is 1/4 of an inch in wood lingo. Oh, and go grab you one of those tape measures so we can measure how thick. Look, there you go. All right. So right now we're looking at 2.5 inches. So it's 2.5
inches by
12, right?
2.5 inches by like a foot.
12 inches.
12 inches.
Very, very wise. All right. So what we're going to end up doing at some point is we're going to square all the sides off so it's a little bit easier. I needed it big enough to where I could carve a rose the same size. So once we flatten it, square it off, we're going to cut it into 2.5 by 2.5 inch square pieces, and then we'll be able to hand carve that by hand. And then we'll have extras because they only requested one. But while we have all the equipment set up, might as well do multiples, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and put that away, clean up our workspace. That looks sexy. Wow. All right. We're going to set these aside. I want to go put those on the laser. Please, sir. Okay. What's the next thing we want to work on? Because we have a laundry list of things we can do. The urn? Oh, you want to work on this right now? All right, let's get everything set up. Oh, and you want to rotate? You get over there because we're going to use the table saw. All right, so we're going to take off our cross-cutting sled, and we're going to put on our regular fence. I will use this one because of all the equipment in the shop, this is the most dangerous, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I will do this, but you are watching, you are learning the whole time. All the safety things, we're going to cover all the safety things every time. All right. So right now the blade is up. Alright, so whenever you're trying to adjust the blade for height, might have to go use a bandsaw. Alright, don't push any buttons. We're going to put the little safety bar through the start button so nobody accidentally presses it while my hands are clipped. Alright, so when we're adjusting the height of the blade, we want it to be about halfway up this gullet right here, or the blade should just barely break the surface. It's a little uneven, but that's about what you want. You don't want it all the way up as high as it'll go, because then you'll start getting into things called kickback, which we've talked about, right? So a couple key features, safety-wise, you can keep your hands out of the way. We got some push sticks and push grips. And then we also have this thing. I'll come over here and film this one because this is a very, very, very important part that everybody always takes off their saw, but there's a reason why it's there. And it's actually required in places like Europe. So this right here, this little device is there so that whenever you're cutting a long board, as the board de-stresses and you cut it, sometimes it wants to pinch. And if you're cutting it and it pinches the back of the blade, it's going to kick up at you. Or it could potentially, as it's kicking it up, it grabs it and it twists it, and then that's how people lose fingers. And it happens in split second, right? So this thing right here is called the riving knife. We always leave a riving knife in there. There's very few times that we take it out by design to make certain cuts. One is if we're not going to cut all the way through the material. This sticks up slightly above the blade, so we want to make sure that we're allowed to cut all the way through if we're not cutting all the way up. So that's one of our push sticks, and that's like my backup. It's always right there. Alright, so we're going to adjust the width first. And what's really cool about this wood is it's got a really, really good smell. I bet you a silver dollar that once we start cutting it, Miss Ashley Mom is going to smell it upstairs, come down like, you're cutting that Brazilian rosewood again. Alright, so I just want to make sure that blade is clear. Alright, so step back a little bit. Alright, we're just doing our last little safety check. We've got our little push block, push stick. This, if you want to envision a little cage around the blade, you don't want your fingers to ever cross into where this wooden zero clearance piece is, right? You don't want your fingers to ever get anywhere close to that because that is like extreme danger. If you ever can, you always want to try to use a push block to help you push something through, or push stick, which we keep it handy. And this one, because it's heavy, it's got a little bit more of a grip onto it. Alright, so everybody's got their safety glasses on. Yeah, we pulled that out. We got our vacuum system on. Alright. Touch anything and grab it, clean it up, we always wait for the blade to stop. But that's a really, really nice, pretty clean cut. And it's borderline, you don't want to cut anything taller than that on the saw. And my reminder not to cut anything tall is this hole right now is as big as the blade is wide that I want to cut. So some other things, whenever you're cutting and you're pushing, you never stand behind the saw, right? Because sometimes you'll get kicked back this way and it'll throw it. Like that happened last week, and it threw it into the laser. Meredith is her name. Alright, so I always stand off to the side. I use a push block when I can, push stick. I keep my fingers out, and something that's really important is also constantly thinking which direction you're pushing. So if I'm sitting here holding the piece, and my hand is putting force in this direction, towards the blade, a lot of things could happen to where that force, before you can even realize what's going on, it goes into the blade. So if you saw, whenever I was pushing, I'm pushing in and outward away from the blade, even though it might be towards it in this direction, I'm going away from it, right? And the same thing, so as I was using this push block, I'm trying to push it this way, not into the blade. Alright, so let's flip it around. We got a nice one surface. Just move it over a little bit, and this time, because it was really, really sticky. Hold on a second. Alright, we're just going to use a little bit of a glide spray to break the surface tension friction of the wood going on the cast iron surface. So let's move some of this. Vacuum it up. Okay, take this off. I just wanted to do that to get the top of it. Yeah, you don't gotta worry about all that. Let's just get the top of it so that whenever we spray it goes into stuff with the spray. You know, a little bit down there towards the end. Where's that spray? Get the can. Did I give you the paper towel?
We'll just use this.
Make sure there's nothing else on here. Oh, we'll just use the one. So we're going to spray it. We'll let it sit in there for a minute. Alright, spray it. You just broadcast it. It doesn't have to go in really thick. Just broadcast it over. You're looking to make sure it covers the surface. So it removes the friction, protects it. Alright, that's good. Alright, we're going to let it just dry for a minute. You'll tell when it's dry because it looks dull. It doesn't take very long. Alright. Here is the paper towel. I'll do the fence if you do the rest of the we're just kind of brushing it in, getting see how smooth and slippery it is now.
And we may have missed it a little bit right there.
You just try to buff it in so we have to go back and spray some. It's really this portion that we're worried about because this is where the wood's going against. If we were using a wide piece, then obviously you'd really want to make sure the whole thing is slicked up. Alright. Oh, much better. Yeah, we need to do that for a while. Alright. Raise it up. Okay, loosen up the friction. Alright, now try. Much easier. Alright, so just go slightly above the blade, or get the blade slightly above the piece of wood. That's good. Alright. Maybe down, just hold on a second. Yeah, you pull the pin out. Don't turn it on, it's on ready. I'll let you turn it. Alright. Hold on. Alright. Go ahead, turn it on. Alright. Smells good? What does it smell like for the people at home that can't smell it? Can you smell it out from there?
I can't really describe it.
It's hard to...
It's hard to describe. This is...
You don't know? Well, when you go to the Middle East, you'll recognize that smell. And for the people that are watching, the best way I can describe it is if you go into any textile shop in the Middle East, that fragrance. And the reason why it smells that similar is because they actually use the oils from this wood to put in their perfumes and cologne. Yep, you can clean that up. All right. You know, we're actually going to use the bandsaw. We're going to see if this capable of cutting a little bit safer. Alright. So, we know that knot is there. We know that it's all nasty, but I don't need that last little bit. I only need 5 inches because we were doing 2.5 thickness of the blade, 2.5. So it's going to bring us right to it.
Yep.
It's like I planned it. Alright. So, this one of the safer saws that we have, and that's why I want to do it, right? So they're setting it up. We already got the blade tensioned. I'm going to start cutting it, and I just want to make sure that it's the blade's actually capable of cutting through it. Alright, so we're going to open up our vacuum system. We're going to push that one closed. Alright, yep. And we'll go the extra mile. even though I like the smell. Alright. So turn on that vacuum. And push the button for the other one. Alright. So you saw how easy it was going, nice and smooth. The oil is actually helping it. Alright, so safety, we've used this one before. Alright, so we're going to make sure we always keep our fingers clear of it.
Yes.
We're going to use our push stick. You want to get that stick that's on the side of this off?
Yes.
Yes.
Gosh. How long are we doing it for?
How long would you like to do it for?
An hour?
An hour?
We have 20 minutes.
We're at 20 minutes or we have 20 minutes to go?
40 minutes.
So we're at 40. What?
Yeah,
Already?
No, we're not. Let me check.
See, time flies when you're having
Oh, wow,
fun.
we actually are at 40
We
minutes.
are at 40 minutes. Alright, so. Alright. So, you can use this push stick. Like that, remember? And then when you're holding it on this side, you're kind of pushing it outward a little bit while trying to keep your fingers and pushing it into the fence. Alright, oops. Alright, so reach behind you, push that top button on the orange one. One more time. Alright. Turn it on. Turn it on. Alright. Here, now this. Not too fast, we're doing it far down. Too hot. And that's it before it turns black. You can already tell that that is what it looked like when I first cut it and I sanded it down. But just in that period of time of 2 days, it's darkened up that much. So, and that's just the natural oxidation in the air. We don't need to clean it up that much. All right. What else can we do? What else do you guys want to work on? We can't do the rings. We got some more rings to make for another plaque. That's not a surprise. If somebody ordered for themselves.
Yes.
Well, we still have 17 more minutes.
What do you guys want to do? You want to talk about your thing that you're painting right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You want to go get your pieces. Bring them in here. You want to turn it around? Because if you go in there, we're gonna lose a Wi-Fi signal.
In there?
Yeah, in there.
All
All
right.
right. You can come like right here, Owen. You'll be good. Just don't walk the extra 3 feet, because you'll get cut. All right.
Like right here?
Yep, you're good. All right. So Colin has been working on
Some hockey logos.
hockey logos. We like hockey in this house, right?
Yes.
So this is the what team?
This is the Dallas Stars.
So what was the process? What did we do? Teach people about
So, first we went to the laser.
it. Yep.
We cut it out all these pieces.
Yep.
Then we came over here. We spray painted all of these. We let it dry.
Yep.
And then we spray painted it again.
Yep. Just an extra little coat. Make sure that everything is covered.
And then after all that, we glue it all together, and then we do the background, and then we're all done.
Yeah. So we did. We already coated it pretty good. We're gonna let the green star dry a little bit more, and we've got a couple of spots to touch up with anyway.
Yeah.
But those are making progress.
Yep.
We've got a Connecticut State Police badge that we did a little tester on. I just wanted to do some tests on the colors. For everybody who's been keeping up with the urn project, we got the file back for the eagle. I carved it. This is where we're at right now. I just have to cut it out on the bandsaw very carefully and then clean up with the Dremel. We'll do a whole video on that. We have another secret project over here that you can't see. But all these pieces is what we worked on last time. We did the Mountain Cold Weather Rescue. Well, this is the ornament that we're making it after. And
We
then,
have the ring of 1992.
yep, because he was a class of 1992. Yep, and then the front is going to be the Army seal. You want to get close and show them? How's it looking now? Oh, it looks good. Nice. All right. And then something else we've been working on. I've got it. This was a tester. I've never stained wood using this type of stain before, but really it really works well on curly maple, which is what this is. It's green. We're looking for emerald color because we're going to be possibly may or may not be making a Green Mountain Boys Vermont National Guard flag coin holder. So that is in the works also. Anything else, guys? Huh? Just a couple projects here and there. We'll do another live whenever we're ready to finish up the urn.
Yep.
Because that's coming up
also
very
the
close.
flower.
And the
Also
flower, yeah. Yeah, we'll probably do a live whenever we're sitting there carving up that flower and show people what it's like. All right, come on.
Yep.
Oh, let's go look. And we'll show this cool little piece of this. I have a couple pieces of it. So this is a piece of slate that I picked up while I was at Norwich on campus. They have a quarry in the vicinity of Paille Mountain. Wow.
The other one the clearer one,
Clear one.
the more white one, the really big one. Remember I told you that I was at our house, at my house, and then we brought it back.
Oh yeah, my Dog River Rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll have to bring in the Dog River Rock next time.
Yeah.
That's heavy, dude.
Yeah.
That would take some muscle getting in here. But that green piece I showed you, this is the liquid. The green trans tent is what the company is called. It's a whole experiment. We see how many drops it takes to get to, this was some of our experimenting. That was a lighter coat, and that was a little bit darker. And then we got to the point where we are, which I liked. You want to go grab that one, Colin Owen?
Which one?
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, grab it. So this was the whole process, was getting to that from this. And it's all from this liquid. We had more drops, we tested. We had more drops, we tested, right? But this is what they do with guitars, really nice guitars. If I wanted to get a blue, because I really, really like that blue. Or like midnight blue. So we got another Cadet Creed plaque that I have to do personalization on, just waiting on the final approval. We're going to do a nice frame around this one, which is a little bit different than we typically do. And so we have the rose, we got that.
You got the urn.
We've got the urn. We've got a shadow box that we're going to start. We've already started for the freshmen who unfortunately lost their life. We have the Knights of Columbus saber holder, which the recipient is the one that ordered it. So we'll be able to do that one too. That one's going to be really cool. It's going to be like the Coast Guard one that was a top secret project, if you remember that. But other than that, guys, what time are we at? Are we at an hour yet?
50.
11 minutes,
11
basically.
minutes ago?
11 minutes.
That's alright. We'll add it on to the next video.
Yeah.
Unless we, you know what, we'll do this. Here's two more projects that we just finished. One is, we need to do some modifications to it. So our best friend Amy Blum from the Connecticut Army National Guard, this is for her two twins. Her one set of twins, her two boys. But Caleb and Colton, that is for their pictures, their school pictures. Drop slot in the back, so you can put those. Nice cherry frame. We did, this is something that we very rarely do. We rarely stain wood to look a certain color, but we stain that with black walnut. I prefer to use real black walnut when I can, but it was impossible there. So this is a memorial flag for somebody. He was a... So it was Richard, and he passed away in 2021. He was with the Rhode Island Army National Guard. Colin helped me. That's Colin's signature right there. He signed the back of it. But it is slightly too small to close all the way. So we got a couple of solutions that we're going to do. This one was designed to sit flat, but whenever you fold a memorial flag from a fallen soldier or a veteran's funeral, once it gets folded, you never unfold it. It's always supposed to stay that way. So, in trying to keep up with that, instead of refolding it and folding it tighter to fit in there, we're just going to build it a little bit thicker. We're going to just, instead of having a little piece that sits in there, we're going to have a piece that sits the perfect size right on top of it, black walnut, because his favorite wood was black walnut. And that is his memorial case. These are hard to do for a lot of reasons. The reason why a lot of people don't like doing them is because the angle to get it to look just like that, because you could have this one run flat, the bottom rail, and then the top edge do a 45 degree to make, or 30, 22 and a half? I don't know. Wherever that angle is, I can't remember off the top of my head. That's one strategy if you can't make that angle, but we're capable here of cutting that angle using our super duper skills, and then that's just simple 45. But that is a memorial case that we just recently did. And with that, you guys ready to go get something to eat or ice cream, and or because the twins are going to be waking up from their nap, which means that our time in the wood shop is quickly coming to an end for now.
Yes.
All right. We will see you guys later. You want to say bye? All right.
Goodbye.
Bye. Owen, you actually want to be on film and say, no?
Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Adios.
I don't know how to stop it.
You don't know how to stop it?
Was it that one?
No, it's the red button. Just look on the bottom of the screen. Is there a button in live?
No.
No.
There's the closest thing to that is next.
Yeah, just hit next.
No.
Yeah, there
that.
you go.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.